Thank you, Mr. DeJoy, for being here. I want to see if we can find some common ground to resolve some of the differences. Can you begin by sharing with the American people and this committee the unofficial motto of the Postal Service?
No rain nor snow, that sleet nor hail will make our delivery.
Yes. It's about service, correct? Not about profit. Do you know how many veterans serve in the Postal Service? About
100,000.
Correct. Do you know what percentage of veterans rely on the Postal Service for their prescription medicine?
I don't know.
It's a high number. It's about 80% of veterans. So I guess my beginning, I want to ask you this. You know, our Defense Department, we don't tell them you have to go sell weapons to make revenue to serve the American people. We don't say that about our health service or the National Institute of Health. Why should we have a different standard for the Postal Service? Why do you have to go make a profit instead of just serving the American people?
Sir, it's an interesting and good question, and it's not that we need to make a profit. It's to be self-sustaining, which means at least cover your costs.
But why? It's such a small.
I'm not a legislator. I'm the Postmaster
General. Do you know? I mean, do you know the history? Do you remember the time in the Postal Service history where that wasn't a requirement?
I do, in the 70s.
Actually, it was from 1840 to 1970. We funded the Postal Service. We didn't require them to make a profit because we thought people should in rural America and other places, and our veterans should serve. And one of the reasons people serve in the Postal Service who've served in our military is they view it as public service. Now, I appreciated one point you made, which is you assume that those who disagree with you have a legitimate difference, a legitimate perspective. Your perspective is that these mail sorting machines aren't required because packages need to be delivered and open up floor space. It's your testimony that you didn't direct it, correct? Who directed it?
I have not done an investigation. It came probably through our operation. It's been a long-term initiative.
You don't know who directed it? You don't know who implemented it?
Well, there's hundreds of them around the country in different places. It was an initiative within the organization that preceded me.
Okay, so your perspective is this is necessary to make efficiency of packages. You understand that there are millions of people in America who have the opposite view, who are concerned that this may slow down the delivery of mail. Do you have any sense of how much it would cost to restore these machines?
No,
Would it be more than $10 billion?
More than what?
$10 billion?
$10 billion?
Yeah, no, right?
No.
More than $1 billion?
It'd be less than $10 billion.
Less than $1 billion?
I would assume so.
Okay,
it's
so
only
here's my
700
question.
machines.
Let's stipulate that you may be right about the efficiency. I disagree with you, but let's just stipulate that. Now, we have Donald Trump, the president, tweeting out yesterday that he's up in the polls. He thinks he's going to win. Nate Silver thinks Biden is going to win. I think everyone in this room can agree on one thing. Whoever wins, the American people should have confidence in that result. So if it cost less than $1 billion, regardless of whether it's efficient or not, what is the harm in just putting those machines back until Election Day just for the peace of mind, for the confidence of the American people?
Well, first of all, sir, we've heard all the statistics about the mail and the votes and so forth, right? And we don't need the machines to process the election. But you make a statement about for $1 billion, if we just gave you $1 billion, you're not going to give us $1 billion. So you're going to make a request. You have no way of getting us $1 billion. We haven't been funded in 10 years. You can't pass any legislation. Can't pass any legislation that helps.
If I could just finish this point, if we give you the money. Do you see my point?
It's a hypothetical. I'm not willing to.
But I guess
you haven't given us any money.
What
you
is
haven't
the
given
harm?
us any legislation.
But what is the
harm? And
harm?
you're sitting here accusing me of things with regard to this machinery as a committee.
I haven't accused you of anything.
And it's a big statement.
I'm trying to understand.
I think I'm
trying to understand what most Americans are trying to understand. What is the harm in putting these machines, even if the machines, in your perspective, don't do anything, what is the harm to do it till Election Day?
In Washington, it makes plenty sense. To me, it makes none.
You haven't explained why. And then final question
because they're not needed. That's why.
But if it will restore people's faith in a democracy and avoid a polarized electorate, I would think...
Get me the billion, and I'll put the machines in.
Okay, well, that's a commitment. We'll find a way to get you the money. The last question I have for you is, can you... Reagan said, trust but verify. I understand you've committed to the American people that you're going to have these delivered in time. Can you give us a specific and detailed plan and submit that to Congress on how you're going to make sure that the ballots get delivered in time?
I need to get back to you. I'd be, if there's a plan that we can, I mean, there's normal processing procedures plus enhanced processing procedures around the election, I can probably give you some type of summarized objectives that we'll try to fulfill.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the commitment of $1 billion, and you'll put the machines back in a plan. So thank you.